Hey everyone, this is Angie with Angie's Adventures or Angie's Book Adventures. I'll probably post this on my YouTube video. It's Friday afternoon, March the, y'all see me thinking, the 7th, March the 7th. And I thought I would start a life/reading vlog for the weekend and bring you guys along with what I'm doing this weekend. I am home. We did not go to the beach this weekend. It's really cold. It was really cold last night, and today it's been chilly, so therefore the sweatshirt. But I did go shopping this afternoon a little bit. I actually went to Cato's, which is a women's clothing store. It's a national chain, I think, but we have one here locally in the town that I live in. Since I have lost some weight and had my breast reconstruction surgery, I need some new clothes. So I went and bought a few things this afternoon, and then I went to a local thrift store called Guardian Angel, and I love to go in there and look for books and junk and vintage dishes and things like that. But I didn't find any of that kind of stuff this weekend. But I did find two things. I spent less than $4. But I did want to show you what I found. So hang on and let me see. Can I flip the camera while I'm recording? Okay, well, I don't think you can flip the camera, so I'm going to have to stop the video, flip the camera, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so the first thing that I found was this travel diary. And I just thought it was so neat because when my husband and I go on vacation, especially the last 2 years, because we've been taking 2-week vacations, and in 2023, we went to Maine, but we went through several states to get there. And I always keep a journal when I'm on vacation, and I usually just take a blank journal and write in it. But I thought this one was really neat because it actually is specifically about traveling. And each page, it's pretty much a blank journal, but it has a date and a location. And I just thought it was neat. And it's brand new. Well, it's brand new in the respect that nobody ever wrote in it. Pepper Pot, 2002, the gift wrap company. So it's old, but I got it at the thrift store for $2. And then the other thing that I found at the thrift store is a reading journal. Books I've read, a reader's journal, write it down. Reading one book is like eating one potato chip. Oh, that's funny. And then that just had a little quote. Life is an adventure. It's not the destination we reach that's most rewarding. It's the journey along the way, so write it down and treasure the memory forever. Barbara Marina. And then each page has a place for you to write the book title, the date read, the author, the publisher if you want to, date published, type of book, recommended by, I received this book from or at, my interest in this book is, ideas expressed, message, plot, favorite characters and quotes. When I finished this book, I felt, other books to read by this author or with this theme. I would recommend this book to. And then you can turn it over. On the back side has blank lines for notes and comments. And date, loan to, date return, if you loan the book to anyone, I guess. But this is really neat. And there are, oh my gosh, lots of pages. And it was completely empty. No one had written in it. And I just bought a reading journal off of Amazon and paid, I don't know, between $15 and $20 for it. And I mean, it was nice. It was a leather-bound journal, but this is a nice little book. I don't really know what size it is. And it was originally, whenever it was sold, was $25. I got it for $2. $2. $2. I got a 10% discount because my husband is military and I get military discounts at this thrift store. So I got this with tax less than $4 for these 2 books. I felt like it was a good day thrift store shopping. So anyway, I'll be right back. So I'm going to take you along this weekend on my life vlog, my life journey, and my reading journey. And I'll come back in a little while. I'm actually reading 2 books right now at one time. I'm reading a book entitled The Business Trip, and I don't have it in front of me. It's in the other room. It's a suspense thriller by Jessie Garcia. It was just recently published in the last couple of months. And my book club in my Facebook group, Angie's Adventures, this was our book choice for the month of March. And I just started it Tuesday, I believe. Yeah. Tuesday night. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I am almost finished with it. I've been reading a little bit each night. It is good, y'all. It is very good. And then on audiobook, I am listening to a book entitled The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. And this has been on my TBR list for a while. So I made it a priority in March when I found it on the Libby app. Actually, I had to put a hold on it on the Libby app, and I waited for almost 2 months, and it became available. So it got bumped up to the top of my March TBR list, and I'm about 70% of the way through it. So I am hoping to finish both of those books before the weekend and start on a couple more. But I'll show them to you later when I have them in front of me, because I have the physical book of The Measure as well, and tell you a little bit more about them. So come hang out with me this weekend. March 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'll try to finish the vlog on Sunday afternoon and upload it to my YouTube channel Sunday night. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, it's Angie, and I'm continuing my weekend vlog. It is Saturday night. I have done quite a bit today, but didn't record any of it. So I thought I would bring you up to speed a little bit. So this morning I got up and went to a yard sale and 2 different estate sales. And in a few minutes, I'll show you some of the things that I purchased from those. And then came home and just did some Saturday things, you know, cleaning, washing clothes, things like that. And then this evening, my husband and I went out to dinner because our 37th wedding anniversary was earlier in the week. It was Wednesday, March the 5th. And my husband actually was not feeling well. He's been battling a head cold all week. And we didn't go out to dinner on a Wednesday night. So we decided to wait till the weekend. He's still coughing, but we went out to a new restaurant and actually didn't have a great experience. But I wanted to bring you up to speed about what I am reading this weekend and finish that up for you. So hold on just a second. Sorry about that. My husband came in the room, wanted to see if he needed me. And so when I videoed last night, I told you that the 2 books that I was reading, I didn't have them in the room with me. So I'm going to show you what I was reading yesterday and finished today. So this was the March choice for an online book club that I facilitate in a private Facebook group that I run called Angie's Adventures. And our genre for the month of March is suspense/thriller. And this was the book choice. It is called The Business Trip by Jessie Garcia. This book I believe it was published either December of 24 or January of 25. When you look it up on Goodreads, it says January of 25. But the publishing flyer says it was published in 2024. So I'm thinking maybe it was the end of 24. But this is actually, I didn't realize this when we chose it and purchased it and I started reading it. But Jessie Garcia, who the author, and there's her picture on the back of the dust jacket, this was her debut novel. So she actually is a journalist and a newsroom manager, or has been, or she is the news director at the CBS affiliate in Milwaukee. So this book is starts out following two female characters. Excuse me. One of them is a news director at a television station in Madison, Wisconsin, and she is going on a business trip. So she's going to a news conference in San Diego, California. The other female character is a young woman named, what is her name? God, Jasmine. So Stephanie is our female news director character. Jasmine is a female character who is leaving an abusive situation. So she's kind of on the run, and she ends up sitting next to Stephanie on the flight from Madison to Denver, Colorado. Now, there is a third character that is brought in later, and his name is Trent McCarthy. And those are the three primary characters in the book. But the book is set up in 4 parts. I think the first part is only 4 chapters, but then part 2, 3, and 4 are like at least 10 chapters apiece, if not more, because I think there's like 40-some chapters in the book. But each chapter is told from a different character's point of view. So there's lots of twists, lots of turns. It really takes, at the end, it really has a surprise ending. I sort of kind of predicted part of the ending, but there's one thing that was a big, big surprise that I did not see coming. So overall, I did finish this one a little bit after midnight last night. So I guess technically I did finish it on Saturday, March the 8th. I started it Tuesday night. So it was a pretty quick read. I was only reading it in the evening after dinner, after we finished dinner. So it was pretty quick read. It was like 340 pages. I gave it a 4-star rating. So it was pretty good. I enjoyed that one pretty good. And then I have the actual physical book, but I was actually listening to this one on audiobook. And the second book that I finished, and I finished it this afternoon, is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. And this book has been out for a while, I believe. Hang on, or maybe not. 2022, so 3 years. But I think it was the rave all over TikTok a year or so ago. I actually bought it from a fellow Whatnot seller, and I've had it for several months. It's been on my TBR. And I found it on, actually, I requested it on audiobook like 6 weeks ago. So it's a very popular book on the Libby app. That's where I requested it. It finally sent me a notification saying it was ready. I think it was like the end of last week. So I checked it out on the audiobook, started it on the 1st, which was Saturday a week ago. Yeah, Saturday a week ago. And I just finished it today. Sometimes I would follow along in the physical book, but for the most part, I read it on audiobook. This one was quite interesting. I think if I had to classify this as a specific genre, I would say it was a little dystopian. So the premise of this book is that everyone in the world, not just in the United States, but in the whole entire world, if you are the age of 22 years old or older, you receive a box that arrives on your doorstep. And on the top of the box is a label or some sort of, I don't remember if it's a metal thing that's engraved or if it's just a label on the box that says, inside is the measure of your life, or something to that effect, something along those lines. And inside each box is a string. And the length of that, nobody really knows what it means initially. But after a few months, people all over the world, there starts becoming all of this statistical data. And basically what those strings mean is the length of your life. So after about 3 or 4 months, there's enough statistical data that someone creates a website and you can measure your string, plug it into the computer, and it will tell you exactly how long your life is going to be, if you're going to end it in your mid-40s or whatever. And then as the months go by, they even fine-tune it more. So this book actually follows 8 different characters, 8 different people. The majority of them live in New York City. I think there's a couple that live in the DC area. But it follows their life. Some of them are short stringers, which means that their life is going to end sooner than later, and some are not. So it is interesting, the dynamics of each of the characters and how they deal with, or even if they look. Some people choose not to look at their, like not even to open the box and look at how long their string is. But it is very reflective in the fact that it makes you think about, what would you do if you knew exactly how long you were going to live? So after I finished reading it, I gave this one a 4 star as well. And I would recommend reading it. I'm going to have both of these books up for sale in my Pango bookstore. And I'll drop the link below to my storefront if you want to purchase them. Okay, while I'm on that topic of books in my Pango site, I just this week listed some books that I bought over the past 6 to 9 months, when I initially thought that buying any book that had sprayed edges was going to be collectible, and they probably will be, but these are all in the fantasy genre, and I'm never going to read them, and I really don't want to keep them and have them take up space on my bookshelf, my personal bookshelf. So I have them listed for sale in my Whatnot store. In my Pango Books storefront. So if you are interested in them, if you like fantasy books or sci-fi books, I have some beautiful ones. So the first one is called The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Linde, Linde. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name. But this is what it looks like. Beautiful sprayed edges. If you open the front of it, the inside, well, first of all, it has a dust jacket, but the actual book itself, the hardcover book, has beautiful artwork on it as well. And then when you open up the front of the book and the back of the book, it is just a beautiful book. And it may be worth a lot of money one day, but if you are interested in purchasing it, it is brand new. It will be for sale in my Pango book site. I think I have it listed for $15. I paid quite a bit more for it than that. I also have one called Heaven Breaker by Sarah Wolf. And those are the sprayed edges on that one. Let me see if the book itself. So the book itself, not as pretty as the previous one. This is kind of embossing, but it does have a pretty on the front and the back. But the sprayed edges are just gorgeous. So this one is Heaven Breaker. I believe this one is also listed for $15. If you would like to start collecting books that have sprayed edges, That one is for sale. And then the last one, well, not the last one, the Spell Shop. I love the dust jacket, but look at those purple sprayed edges. And this one does not have any artwork on the inside of the cover, but beautiful purple pages. I can't remember how much I have this one for sale. I don't think it's quite $15, but I don't know. And then I've mentioned this one before when I finished Onyx Storm. This was a special edition with the dragons in the sprayed edges. And then it has the map of the continent. But that one is listed in my Pango bookstore also. So now that I have finished the measure and the business trip, my next book on my March TBR list, and I will probably start this one tomorrow, is Lessons in Chemistry. I'm reading it for another book club that I'm in. And I ordered this one off Pango Books just because I needed a physical book to read. And I think I only paid like $5 or $6 for this hardcover book. And when I got it in the mail, it had sprayed edges. I mean, it's a pretty basic book on the outside. It does have the periodic table on the front cover. Let me see about the back cover. Yeah, and the back cover. But it has sprayed edges, and I paid $5 for it. But I just bought it to read for a book club that I'm in. This one came out in 2022. And so I need another audio book. I'm going to try to look on my TBR list. I looked last week, and there were 3 that I want to read, but they have holds on them. You have to put a hold on them on the Libby app, and they're all like 20 to 22 weeks out. But let me show you a few more books, and then I'm going to sign off here that I found at an estate sale today. I found this book called Excavated Artifacts from Battlefields and Campsites of the Civil War from 1861 to 1865. And this book was published in 1975. So this book is 50 years old. And it has lots of pictures. But the reason that I picked it up is because my cousin is a Civil War buff. And he collects arrowheads. And he is actually like the head of a committee here in the county that we live in, where they've been restoring this old home, and they're going to have a history museum in the home. And so I thought this would be neat to give to him to put in the history museum, or if he wanted to keep it for himself since he collects arrowheads. And my husband is a big civics person, and when he was in school, it was actually a class that he took. And so I found this book. It says Civics, the 50 State Edition. So I got this one for my husband. And I mean, I think this was a textbook. And it was published in 1960. So it is 65 years old. And I thought it was interesting. On the front fly page, it says, "You are a citizen and you live in a community. You are a citizen and you are part of your government. You are a citizen and your opportunities are unlimited." So these are the different chapters. So it talks about being a citizen and being involved in your community and different things like that. So I thought that was interesting. So at this estate sale, they were selling these hardcover books for 25 cents. And then I picked this one up for my friend who is a nurse. And this one says that it is a short history of nursing from the earliest times to the present day. Now, let me tell you what the present day was. Copyright 1924. So this book is over 100 years old. Now, obviously, the people who own this book didn't read it very often or took very good care of it. It does, at the very, when you open it up, it does look like it's coming away from the binding a little bit there, but the rest of the pages are in pretty good shape for this book to be 100 years old. So I'm going to give it to her. She's a hospice nurse, and she's been a nurse for many years because I thought she might be interested in that. And then the last book that I got, so I got these 4 books for $1 because they were 25 cents a piece, is The Bank Teller. Now, this one does have a little damage on it. I used to work in the banking industry, so I got this one for me. I thought it was interesting. And my hometown is Lillington, North Carolina. And if you can see, it's stamped on the inside that this was from the Bank of Lillington in Lillington, North Carolina, June 28th, 1948 is the stamp on the inside of the book. And let me see. Yeah, so 1948, the Bankers Publishing Company, The Bank Teller. Now look, guys and gals, but look, The Bank Teller, His Job and Opportunities. So I guess in 1948, there were only male bank tellers. So I just thought it was interesting. So I'm going to read you. The very first chapter says, cultivate a pleasing and affable manner, study banking law, keep in touch with other departments of the bank. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I will probably read it at some point or at least scan through it. But I like to buy old antique books like this, vintage books or whatever, and use them for decorating in my home. So anyway, that's what I did, or that's what I purchased, those 4 books at an estate sale today. So this Saturday night, I will close out this video tomorrow and then try to get it uploaded. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hey everyone, this is Angie, and I am wrapping up my weekend life/reading vlog. So I gave you a long update last night, Saturday night. Haven't done any reading today. I went to church. I came home. I just did a Facebook Live Shop My Closet video sale. So I haven't had a chance to sit down and read, but I will be in a little while starting this book, Lessons in Chemistry. This is a book that I'm reading for one of my book clubs. And I'm still searching for an audiobook since I finished The Measure yesterday. I haven't decided what I'm going to load on the Libby app for me to start this week. But that's it. I finished The Measure and The Business Trip this weekend. So that is 3 books that I finished in March. Today is March the 9th, so I don't think that's too bad. I'm up to a total of 17 for the year of 2025. I did 7 in January, 7 in February, and I've done 3 so far in March. So what are you guys reading? I'd love to hear your comments in below. Drop a comment and tell me what you're reading or what you read this weekend. I'd love for you, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button and become one of my subscribers and ring the bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. But thank you for stopping by Angie's Book Adventures, and I hope you have a great day.